I agree with President Trump that others are taking unfair advantage of the current rules, and I'm ready to support any efforts to make the global trading system fit for the realities of the global economy. But I also want to be clear. Reaching for tariffs as your first and last tool will not fix it. This is why, from the outset, we have always been ready to negotiate with the United States to remove the remaining barriers to transatlantic trade. At the same time, we are prepared to respond. We are already finalizing the first package of countermeasures in response to tariffs on steel, and we're now preparing for further countermeasures to protect our interests and our businesses if negotiations fail. President Trump's announcement of universal tariffs on the whole world, including the European Union, is a major blow to the world economy. I deeply regret this choice. Let's be clear-eyed about the immense consequences. The global economy will massively suffer. Uncertainty will spiral and trigger the rise of further protectionism. The consequences will be dire for millions of people around the globe, also for the most vulnerable countries, which are now subject to some of the highest U.S. tariffs. The opposite of what we wanted to achieve.
We will fight to bring each of these tariffs to an end. We're fighting in courts, challenging that these tariffs have been illegally imposed under U.S. law. We have filed disputes underscoring that they are in violation of our free trade agreement, CUSMA. We have gone to the World Trade Organization because these actions are against international trade law. We are responding today with, and we have responded throughout, with carefully calibrated and targeted counter tariffs. As I told President Trump during our call last week, Canada will respond to the U.S. auto tariffs. And today I'm announcing that the Government of Canada will be responding by matching the U.S. approach, with 25% tariffs on all vehicles imported from the United States that are not compliant with CUSMA, our North American Free Trade Agreement, and on the non-Canadian content of CUSMA-compliant vehicles from the United States as well. Our tariffs, though, unlike the U.S. tariffs, will not affect auto parts because we know the benefits of our integrated production system. And they will also not affect vehicle content from Mexico, who is respecting the CUSMA agreement. And as well, we are developing a framework for auto producers in Canada to get relief from these counter tariffs as long as they maintain their production and investment in our country. Importantly, every single dollar raised from those counter tariffs, our counter tariffs, which could reach around $8 billion before remission, will go directly to our auto workers and the companies affected by those tariffs. And that's on top of a $2 billion fund that we announced last week to build a made-in-Canada auto sector, a fund that a new Liberal government would implement should we be elected.
If the response to the tariffs put in place by the U.S. administration is to make immediate concessions or to announce investments to get exemptions, it's a very bad idea. Because we have a strength. It's a market of 450 million residents. That's Europe. The EU is 450 million consumers. It's more than the U.S. market. What message would it send if major European players started investing in the American economy at a time that they're hitting us? So we need collective solidarity.
The
Federal Council has taken note of the U.S. decisions regarding tariffs. It regrets that with these decisions, the U.S. is further deviating from free trade and a rules-based trading order. It will thoroughly analyze the exact consequences of these decisions and the possible options. The Federal Council is clearly of the opinion that an escalation is not in Switzerland's interest. It is therefore refraining from taking direct countermeasures for the time being and will examine other solutions.
Pues tiene que ver con la buena relación que hemos construido.
Well, it has to do with the good relationship we've built between the governments of Mexico and the United States, which is based on respect, with respect for sovereignty, collaboration, and coordination, but with respect for Mexicans and national sovereignty.